Hey
Welcome
guys.
to a brand new TVG talk. My name is Paco Treviño and today I'm joined by Lauro Chapa and Carlos Cáceres.
Hey,
And today we'll be talking about the first 2 days of E3 2017, which include the live presentations of EA, Microsoft, and Bethesda, in that order. So let's begin, and why shouldn't we begin chronologically? That would lead us to EA. Now, some of the highlights of what EA announced this E3 was FIFA 18, Madden, Battlefront 2, and Battlefield 1. So let's begin with some of our thoughts of the highlights. Carlos, why don't we start with you? What did you think of FIFA 18?
well, about FIFA 18, I was pretty glad that they announced FIFA 18 for the Switch. Well, we saw this coming from a while ago. They announced it since, a few months ago, but we really didn't know how they would change some aspects of the game. And as I've heard, I'm not really, let's say, concerned. We're not going to have another gimmicky FIFA in which we're going to kick the
That's right.
ball making some hand gestures, right? Which kind of comforts me. And I'm actually, pretty, let's say, excited for this because I'm a constant FIFA player, and it will be, well, good seeing this title for the Switch.
Yeah, actually, I was a little concerned at first. I didn't think that they were going to bring back the motion controls, but they did mention that it was going to be some sort of inferior version since it wasn't going to use the Frostbite engine. But so far, the only difference that we are apparently getting is the lack of a story mode.
Yeah, yeah. As you say, it's worth seeing when the game launches if we actually feel some difference in gameplay, which will be, the main reason that somebody's buying a new FIFA title, right? Between the 17 and 18, you say, okay, well, Ronaldo can do some new tricks, but they don't work on the Switch. Well, it will make the entirely game useless. So we'll have to play it to see at the end if there are some really major difference that we will notice without the engine, or if, it will be practically the same but with some inferior graphics. We have to check, right?
Well, supposedly the Switch version is a new version altogether because it's supposedly custom software rather than a port from the previous generation games or versions. You know, it's not supposed to be like the PS3 or 360 versions. It's custom
That's right.
wear, supposedly, according to what EA said. So it's supposed to be recreating the Frostbite engine, but not quite be the Frostbite engine. So let's see how that goes. I mean, apparently, from what some representatives said, the Switch is capable of running the Frostbite engine, but not to a desirable degree, to the point where, well, we're seeing cut content in the form of the story mode. But like I said, I mean,
Yeah.
who's missing that, honestly? Uh, so, with that being said, Lauro, what do you think about FIFA 18 altogether, not only for the Switch,
I
but
think it's
you know,
great to
every
have
version?
FIFA on the go because previously we had 3DS and PS Vita titles, but they were nothing compared to the real thing. And I think that this version, although it's not the exact same version we get on the PlayStation and Xbox, it's pretty close to it. And having it on the go and maybe giving like a quick game with your friends, like, hey, here's a Joy-Con, let's play a quick game. I think that's great for FIFA fans.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Maybe we shouldn't compare it to the PS4 and Xbox One versions, rather with the PS3 or I mean, sorry, 3DS or Vita, where we're actually getting that kind of hardware in the sense of, you know, a little tablet that you can
I
carry
wouldn't
everywhere.
say that kind of hardware. That's kind of like downgrading the Switch a little bit, don't you think? I mean, it's not no PS4, but
Yeah, it was to be kind of more of the experience, you know.
okay, yes,
Yeah, I mean,
yes, I get it.
portability aspect
Portability,
and
yes,
everything.
of course.
It's like the next generation of that, where you can play it on the TV, but at the end of the day, it's still a tablet that has to have compromises because it's a portable hardware. So, I think that taking that into account is a fantastic version. I mean, the fact alone that it matches or maybe surpasses last gen, that still amazes me. So, yeah, I mean, I'm satisfied with that, I suppose. And talking about the next games, Lauro, I know you're a huge Star Wars fan. So, what do you think about
I
Battlefront
freaking
2?
love Star Wars. You know this. Maybe the viewers don't, but I do. And Battlefront 1 was so hyped. Everybody wanted that game so bad, and it disappointed so bad. So everybody prayed for EA to make it up to us, the fans, and surprisingly they did. You know, Battlefront 2 actually seems like EA listened to the fans and is giving us what we want: a story mode, a bigger, deeper multiplayer, online multiplayer, and it really seems great. I love how it looks. I love how it plays, and it looks really fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's making it seem like the first Battlefront
Yeah,
was
that's right.
sort of the beta
Totally.
to this new one. Because, I don't have Battlefront 1, but I did play it with you. And the first thing that seemed so apparent to me was the lack of content, especially because I had Battlefront 2 for the PlayStation 2, and that was packed to the brim with content. I mean, when it came to showcasing the original 6 movies, I suppose, it was, you couldn't ask for more. I mean, every main character was there, every main battle was there, and going into this new one, it felt like a downgrade in terms of content. I mean, it looked fantastic,
everything.
but in terms of content, it was very lacking. But yeah, I mean, I'm super excited to see that, and I was really happy to see, the recreation of, maybe some prequel stuff with Darth Maul, and then we saw something from the new movies with Rey there. So I think that Star Wars fans have a lot to look forward to in Battlefront 2.
Totally.
Yeah, and in my opinion, those were the 2 biggest games, I suppose. And actually, I think that EA agrees with me because they were talking about Battlefront 2 between games.
I thought the EA conference was actually going to be just a Battlefront conference, because I was like following Star Wars social media and EA social media, and they were talking about Battlefront left and right. So I thought it was going to be only that,
Yeah, I mean, I suppose that's the heavy hitter. It's the big
Sure.
IP that EA has right now. So
Well,
they
the other
have
one
to
was-
push it all they can while they have it.
The other one was FIFA, which already everybody knows
Yeah.
what it is about. So, if one is worth talking about, I think it's Battlefront 2 in this case.
Yeah, I mean, FIFA, it's a game that sells very well, but just like Madden,
Yeah.
what more can you say than
It's a given. It's
better
always a
graphics, more characters, or yeah, it's a given. Like that. That's the easy way of putting it. Like, it's a given. And overall about the press conference, something that I really have to applaud to EA is that every single game they were like, yeah, so we heard that you didn't like this about the past game, and you did like this, so we're focusing on what you liked, and we're putting aside what you didn't like. And I really appreciate that as a gamer, when a company goes, you know what, I know that I messed up early on, so let's fix that with this new entry. And I gotta say, as a gamer, I really
that's
like
always
that.
reassuring.
I mean, it's nice that you are heard. Yeah, I mean, especially coming from EA, who can sometimes be a little bit on the cocky side and a little bit on the
I think out of
less
the
user-friendly
big companies
side.
is one of the
So
ones
yeah,
that
I
gets
really
the worst
appreciate
rep, you know, with fans.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's nice to see that changing. So overall, Lauro, what did you think about the press conference of EA?
I think it was
Anything else that
fine.
you wanna add?
I really like that point that you said, that they're listening to fans. You know, their games look good. I'm really excited for Battlefront 2. So yeah, it was a good conference, I would say.
Okay, great. Carlos, anything else to add?
Well, as Lauro said, I think it was a good conference overall. Well, most of us know what we expected from this conference, and well, they delivered. And let's hope that Battlefront actually, well, gets a better side than its previous title, because, well, it has a many people have high hopes on this game. So let's see what it does.
Yeah, let's see what it does. And well, if you don't mind, let's jump to the next conference, which is Microsoft. And well, something that I want to say as an opening line is that Microsoft apparently is all about graphics this generation. Don't you
They love
agree?
them. They absolutely love them.
Yeah, I mean, the Xbox One X is, I don't know if you knew this, guys, but it's the most powerful home console that we've gotten so far.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know if they stressed that enough during
a couple
the
thousand
presentation.
times they mentioned.
But yeah, that's a yeah. I mean, I'm not sure, but I think it is. No, actually, I don't mind the concept. I mean, I guess that the PS4 Pro did the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, like trying to go really far and really high for graphics. But I think that in a world where PC gaming is becoming more and more mainstream,
Yeah.
I mean, among hardcore gamers, it has been since the beginning,
Sure.
but since it's becoming more mainstream, I think that trying to run that race might not be the smartest
Yeah.
move. I don't know. What do you think about the Xbox One X?
Yeah,
Um,
I always thought
Lauro?
that people who like stress about specs and really care about that have a high-end PC. They're not gonna be like, oh, please update my Xbox, update my PS4. They're always gonna go searching for high-end PC. So to me, it's really weird that they focus on that instead of, you know, making good games.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that they feel like they have to
Yeah.
at this point. But I mean, like some people were saying online, like you're stretching so much for 4K when some PCs can already display 8K. So it feels like they're trying to run a race that they are losing from the get-go. So yeah, that makes me a little bit baffled, especially because I thought that Project Scorpio was going to be something more along the lines of a Microsoft or an Xbox PC, like maybe a more specialized one, something like the Steam Machine or something. And they went completely left field for me, at least. I mean, I know that a lot of people thought that it was going to be just what it is, but to me, it feels like a step backwards, at least. And well, and besides that, the name is kind of dumb, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, we have the Xbox One, Xbox One S, and now the Xbox One X. I can already see that being a problem for some parents.
And here I
this
thought
Christmas.
Nintendo didn't know how to name their consoles.
well,
I know, right? It's the Wii U all over again. I mean, Jesus. Anyways, that's just the opening of it, and I guess that the whole presentation was a little bit around that, but we also got a lot of games announced, actually more than I thought, maybe. They started off with Forza 7. I thought that it looked fantastic, honestly. I mean, all that talk about graphics,
Sure.
and they did deliver. It looks great. The only thing that kind of bothered me is that it felt like an ad for all the cars.
Yeah,
you know,
all the cars
Porsche, Lamborghini. But I guess that they sort of have to.
well, that's a given on a Forza game,
Yeah.
actually.
I mean, yeah, but they even had a car in there, and it's like, oh my God, is this The Price is Right or
Like,
or a Microsoft?
look at this car you're never going to be able to afford.
I know, right? And not that I want it, but yeah. But yeah, they started off with Forza, and then they showed Metro. They showed, well, a bunch of games. They showed also this sort of dungeon exploring space game. I forgot its name, but it reminded me a little bit of something like Minecraft, but with a much higher emphasis on crafting and on survival than Minecraft.
And teamwork.
Yeah, and teamwork, absolutely. Yeah, it actually looked great. I'm sorry I forgot its name. But yeah, it looked great. And they showed also some indie games. They showed Cuphead. They showed that Conquer ripoff. I mean,
Rip.
I don't know. Do you guys have any highlights yourselves? Maybe, Lauro. Let's start with you.
Well, aside from loving Star Wars, I also love fighting games. So my highlight of this conference was Dragon Ball Fighter Z. I cannot tell you enough how much I love how this game looks. It reminded me of kind of like a Marvel vs. Capcom 3, you know, action, transaction, all fast-paced. And this game is being made by the guys that made Guilty Gear, so no wonder. It looks great. I mean, I think the last 2D Dragon Ball fighting game was Dragon Ball Budokai 3, I think, the last one.
That's right, yes.
So,
no, actually there was one for the 3DS, which actually this new one kind of reminds me of that.
The 3DS.
I mean, it wasn't made by Guilty Gear developers. I forgot their names right now.
Yeah, me too.
I think that it was AC Systems, something like that. I'm sorry. But it reminded me to this new one because it was in 2D and it also had assists. Instead of having like 3v3, it was you and 2 assists. So it's kind of similar, I suppose. I think it was called something like Dragon Ball Z Extreme Budokai. I'm not really sure on that right now. But yeah, it kind of reminded me of that. So, I mean, just a side note from
Sure.
me. So, go on, please.
Yeah, I really liked how this game looks, and I fingers crossed it comes out on the Switch. After the conference, they said it's going to be on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. So I don't know, that kind of killed the dream, but you can always continue dreaming.
Yeah, I mean, if they already didn't mention it, it's a difficult note. But isn't Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 coming out for the Switch?
It is.
So maybe the interest is there, so maybe they could announce it.
You know, it's not strange to not announce a console at first. I think Sonic Forces or Sonic Mania, I don't remember which one, was initially not announced for the Switch, and then it was.
Yeah, it was Sonic Mania. It was Sonic Mania because I remember that the Sonic Forces trailer had the NX moniker still.
That's right.
So it was Sonic Mania, the one that didn't mention the Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. That's a different case, but I suppose that Nintendo could still announce it this Tuesday. But I'm not 100% on that, so let's see how it goes.
Yeah, that was my highlight.
Yeah. Another game that I think looks interesting is Life is Strange. Life is Strange 2, I suppose. I forgot what the subtitle is this time.
It's a prequel.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Sorry. But that does look cool. And what other games?
Assassin's Creed looks great.
Oh, right, Assassin's Creed. They actually announced that early on. Assassin's Creed Origins.
Yeah.
With an Egyptian theme.
Yes.
You know, we were talking about this while we were watching it, and I think that it really shows that Ubisoft has been working for this longer than a month. They have shown that they are working on this for a long time, and I think that it has paid off in terms of what they are showing.
Completely.
You know, different gameplay mechanics. It looks really polished. I mean, Ubisoft has this infamy of showcasing a game and then being inferior to what they originally showed. But I want to be optimistic this time around and say, you know what, maybe this is what we're getting. So, I mean, I don't know, Lauro, what did you think about Assassin's Creed Origins?
Yeah, I'm with you in there. Assassin's Creed is not a game you should release year by year by year, and I think Ubisoft finally realized this, and I hope for the future they continue with this, because maybe this game is a commercial success, and they think like, oh, let's go back to the old ways and release a Assassin's Creed yearly.
Please no.
They're a cash cow again.
Yeah. I think it really showed in the trailer and the gameplay how it looked to me. Yeah, I cannot tell you about this story because we that went south since 3, I guess. But for the gameplay, it looks great, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, the Assassin's Creed storyline is one that they railed off way back. So let's hope that the game itself is great.
Mm-hmm.
Carlos, what did you think about Assassin's Creed Origins?
Well, actually, I was kind of surprised because I had given up on Assassin's Creed series a long time ago, and when I saw the game, I was actually as I said before, pretty surprised. I saw some elements on the game that how can I say this? As Lauro said, I can easily notice that they're really giving some thought about this, and they didn't just recycle some the same old fighting mechanics that they always use, which were pretty cool at the beginning, but got kind of annoying after the third title. And it's actually a Assassin's Creed game that I could consider to buy again because I stopped after the third title, after Assassin's Creed 3, and I could try again. Let's see how they review it after it launches, and if it doesn't need let's say 5 patches before we can start playing as Unity did.
Yeah.
And one title that
we don't want another Unity.
No, no. And one title that I wanted to mention because kind of old, but it keeps coming back. I'm actually pretty excited about the Minecraft crossplay that they announced. I think that it yes. I'm actually how can I say this? The fact that they are adding this free update on the Switch version and all the other versions. They say before that correct me if I'm wrong, that the Switch version was going to have a limited world, right? And with this update, as I saw before, they're adding the infinite world pack, which I think that it's pretty awesome, including all the skins that. I'm sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
yes,
I thought that I cut myself. Yeah.
No.
But while adding all the skins and the ability to play to crossplay, it gives a lot of power to the community, and it's not limiting to I can only play PC, Xbox, and it makes a game that's been let's say very famous for a long time. It increases its life for a little bit, and the enhanced graphics. It's
I was actually surprised.
Oh, you were saying?
It's a what? I'm sorry.
I wasn't really thrilled about the in enhanced graphics. I like them, but at the end, I don't think that that's the thing that you're mainly looking when you're playing a game like Minecraft. In my opinion. I was pretty excited by the game, and I know what you think, guys.
I mean, I'm not a huge Minecraft guy or anything, but I find it amazing that they managed to have crossplay between all versions, or should I say all current versions of Minecraft. So, I mean, that alone is something to commend. I don't think that any game in the past has ever managed to do that. So, congratulations to everyone who likes Minecraft.
Yeah. It also sets a precedent, right? Like, guys, we can do this. You can do this too.
Yeah, actually, that could really pressure, like, really push crossplay among all systems.
Hmm.
Like, I don't know, FIFA could try that out. I don't know,
Sure.
or I don't know, someone that has a multiplayer game. I mean,
Hmm.
multi-platform game.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
this is
I mean,
crossplay.
we have seen.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
No,
You
you
continue.
were saying
Oh,
about
okay.
crossplay.
Well, I think that crossplay in this kind is something that Microsoft has been working on a while, and not only on Minecraft. I believe. Well, what other game was the one that included crossplay? I think that some game with
Forza
Steam.
6 had crossplay.
Yeah, and they started this. Well,
Forza
fir-
6 had crossplay.
okay, yeah, and they started this before with only Minecraft with
Go on.
the Xbox and the PC, if I'm not wrong. And doing this for all the consoles, as you say, well, could be something great if they decide to, well, further develop this idea on other games, right? I don't really think that it will happen because, well, we all know how this works, right? And let's say, buy my console and not this one, and that is a line that they have to maintain. But well, it's pretty cool for us players to have these kind of features included on the game.
Yeah, definitely. I think that if they manage to expand upon this, I mean, Minecraft might be the first start, like the first step, so maybe others could do that. Maybe, I don't know, Call of Duty, I don't know if that's coming for the Switch or not. I haven't kept up with that franchise for a while now. But yeah, that's definitely true. And also what you were saying about Microsoft doing this for a while now, it's true. They have been doing this with Xbox and PC for quite some time now. I wouldn't be able to tell you which game was first, but yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
So yeah, they've been expanding upon that, I suppose. So yeah, do you guys have anything else to add about the Microsoft presentation? Maybe a game that stuck with you?
Well, not a game, but the new backwards compatibility with the original Xbox games. I think that's incredible.
That's right, I forgot about that, and it's incredible. I wasn't exactly sure the extent of it, but according to an article that I read on GameSpot, it's supposed to be just like the Xbox 360, where you put on your disc of the original Xbox, it understands what game it is, it downloads a digital version of it, and now you can play it.
Yeah.
And I think that's fantastic.
That's
Honestly,
great.
Sony should do that. Nintendo, I guess they can't do that anymore with the Switch.
Yeah, it's a
But,
pity they can do that.
I mean, yeah, I mean, this is something that should be the norm. I would almost say
Totally.
this is fantastic. This is, I mean, wow.
Well,
it's great. Just thinking that in your newest Xbox One, I suppose you could play games from any console in the past for Xbox. That's amazing.
but well,
in my opinion.
commercially speaking, well, this is a risky move for Microsoft, but I think that it provides great value and it is clearly, well, let's say, distinguished between, well, Xbox and PS4 in this case.
But if they don't have
I would
the
say,
versions in the virtual console, like for the original Xbox games, there's no risk in there.
That's right, but
yeah.
at the end, well, we have seen many times how, well, many companies like to, well, let's say, release their games on each generation of consoles without
Yeah.
any single difference, and that's, well, I don't really like that in a polite way to say.
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, I think that the biggest thing that this does, it's not even the fact that you can play your old games on the new system. I think that this really makes the Xbox a bigger brand, because let's be honest, when we're talking about them being a brand, then Nintendo hardware is much bigger of a brand, Sony hardware is much bigger of a brand. So I think that this really accentuates what the Microsoft brand is as a gaming platform. Like,
Yeah.
like they're not just about graphics, they're not just about the new thing, they're also about the classics, you know, the first Halo, things like that. So I think that this really accentuates it as a brand, and this really makes it seem like they want to make their namesake, or they want to make a statement with this, like we are just as big as the other two brands. I think that's what they're really trying to say there.
And I really like the fact that they're doing this from the beginning. Not as the case on the Xbox One, when many of us look at it like it was like okay, we already screwed the initial sales of Xbox One. Let's make this to compensate. No, they're actually doing this at the beginning of this, of selling this new console. It's actually it talks pretty good of the company. I really like, well, their motives can't be questionable anymore, on my opinion.
Well, this is the release of an enhanced version of the Xbox One.
Enhanced, yes.
I mean, it's not really a new hardware, but yeah, it does say that they want to embrace this current platform. Like, they don't want to leave the Xbox One world just yet, you know. Like, they are ready to tell us in multiple ways that the Xbox One is the console to buy. Like, don't just wait for whatever it's coming out, I don't know, in the near future. Like, the Xbox One is here to stay, and here's the new stuff that's coming out for it. And I mean, that in my opinion is a good move by them. In that sense, Sony does have to look to beware what they're gonna do next, because first they had to worry about, you know, compatibility with a PS3 or something like that. No, now they have to look back to the PS2 or the PS1 with that compatibility in that sense. So I think that this was a good move by Microsoft.
Yeah.
What do you guys have anything else to add, Carlos?
I think we already, well, in my case I already said what I had to say about this topic, and well, I'm really let's say glad about the stand of Microsoft and its enhanced version of its console. And well, let's hope that they keep making great games, not only focus on how they look but on how they play, right?
Right. Lauro, do you have anything else?
Yeah, I mean, the conference was fine. It seems weird to me, the focus of specs, but you know, they set a precedent with crossplay in Minecraft and with backwards compatibility since their first console. So yeah, that's cool.
Great. Yeah. Well, let's jump to the last presentation of this particular discussion video, which is Bethesda. Now, I want to open saying I think that in terms of games, Bethesda is the strongest one so far. Like, out of the three companies that we're covering today, I think that Bethesda is the strongest one with VR, with new games in current IPs, and in expansions in current games. Well, some of the highlights personally were Wolfenstein 2, Morrowind coming to Elder Scrolls Online, and last but not least, Skyrim for the Nintendo Switch with amiibo support. I gotta say, those three things for me were great, and I gotta say that Doom VR and Fallout 4 VR are the first two games that come to VR that actually interest me, like, not just the novelty or whatever, no, like the actual games interest me. So, opening with that, Lauro, what did you think about the Bethesda presentation as a first impression?
The presentation as a whole, I thought it was great because they run it out really fast, but you didn't feel like they were rushing it. It was, I think, like 35 minutes long, and they really showed a lot. As you said, Wolfenstein looks great. Elder Scrolls Online looks really fun. Dishonored expansion looks great. Skyrim on the Switch, amiibo support. I mean, everyone lost their minds when they saw the Master Sword and the Shield on Skyrim. About the VR, I'm not really that much of interested in VR, and I'm still really not with this new thing, but that's just me. I saw people really excited about this, so yeah, I thought that the conference was great.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Carlos, any initial thoughts?
Well, I always love Bethesda and the games they do, mainly all the Fallout series, Elder Scrolls series, and VR. As Lauro said before, I have never been really interested on the games that this technology use, but this last well, how can I say this? Doom and Fallout are games that I actually thought these games would be awesome if I could play on VR, and it's just the fact that exploring an open world from another perspective. I think it has a lot of power and value for players that think like me, that want to explore every little rock and feel the immersiveness on the game by not only customizing a character but now by watching from first person. I think that it has great potential, and VR, as let's say undeveloped yet as it is uh, on games, well, I think that these games will give us, after the launch, a pretty good idea of the real capabilities that this technology has, and how how enjoyable they can be when they are actually used on games that are meant to be this way, right? Because the I believe that the key of these games has always been the immersiveness, and this is a technology that promotes exactly that. So what can I say? I'm really excited, and I'm if I if I can save enough, I'm definitely gonna try these games on VR.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm just like you guys. I'm not a huge VR guy. The games that I've seen seem to me gimmicky and not really something that truly interests me. But seeing something like Doom, which is a fantastic game, and Fallout 4, which, you don't get any bigger than that. You don't get any more AAA than that. You don't get any more high end than these games. So seeing that on VR, looking like they do, makes me think, that VR actually has a chance of being a mainstay in video games. I know that a lot of people are not crazy about that idea, like Lauro. Uh, but I think that this actually gives VR a chance, because otherwise it's going to be just like motion controls. It's going to be just like 3D. So I think that this actually makes it seem like it could be a mainstay, and I can't wait to actually experience them. Now I'm actually interested in getting some VR set, starting with all these. So let's see how those do. And like Laura said, I lost my mind when I saw actual, like, official Nintendo apparel, so to speak, on a Skyrim port that was like huge. That's something like that you see on mods, not on official releases. So
Yeah.
it was great seeing that, and I gotta say, the avatar looked a little bit goofy on the Link attire.
Yeah.
It looked kind of funny, but
So just
it
like
was
Link,
funny
right?
or goofy, I suppose. But it was goofy in a great way. It was
Yeah.
goofy in a fun way. So yeah, I gotta say I'm super excited about those, and I'm actually interested in knowing if the amiibo support will go further than just the Breath of the Wild amiibo. Maybe past Links, maybe Zelda, maybe some Fire Emblem characters. I don't know. It would be interesting to see. I wouldn't mind if that's all there is to it, but at the same time, I'm intrigued to know how far it goes. And I'm actually interested in knowing if Bethesda is interested in releasing maybe Fallout 4 or something else for the Nintendo Switch, not just Skyrim. But we shall see how that goes later on, right? And I don't know. I'm actually really happy with those announcements. Like I said, Wolfenstein 2. I was a huge fan of Wolfenstein 3D as a kid. I have not really gotten back to other Wolfenstein games, but if this new vision of Wolfenstein is as good as the new vision of Doom, which it seems like it is, I'm all in for it, honestly. And yeah, and as a side note, I really liked the presentation that they had, like the little transitions of Bethesda Land, I believe they called it. It was super cute. It was really really cool to see that.
Yeah.
Like it was really funny to see them announcing M-rated games in this super family-friendly way. So it was really really cool. And
It was fun.
and like you said, they were rapid firing those announcements. It didn't feel rushed, but it felt really content heavy, and I really like that. Like they were not messing around. They were not fooling around. They were like, yeah, game after game after game. Like it feels like Bethesda has become such a huge developer. It has a huge presence at E3. It's really really exciting to see that as a gamer. Like I don't know, Skyrim felt such a huge game from a small company, but now it seems like that small company has become as big as their games, and that's really really cool to see. And well, I guess that I've rambled a little bit too long about Bethesda. Lauro, any closing thoughts maybe about the Bethesda presentation?
Yeah, as you said, the presentation was great. I kind of it reminded me of how fun Nintendo makes their presentations, and to me that's a great thing. It was short but sweet, the whole conference.
Short but sweet. That's a fun way of putting it. And actually, that you're now mentioning Nintendo, that reminds me, Nintendo did announce that their presentation will be like 25 minutes long, I believe.
Uh-huh.
So maybe it will be similar to this one where they have really short and maybe kind of goofy transitions between games, but it's like very rapid fire. Maybe they'll do something like that. I think that a Nintendo Direct was like that a few months ago. So maybe it's not that stretch of a thing to imagine.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's all I can say about the Bethesda presentation. And Carlos, anything else to add?
His battery ran out.
Oh, seriously? Oh well, I think that's a good call to say, our good advice. This has been Paco Treviño from the TVGamers. Today I was joined by Lauro Chapa.
Thanks for listening, guys.
And also joining me today was Carlos Cáceres, and on behalf of him, I say bye-bye, guys.